Won't you come with me? I'll show you around the world. Come with the traveler Sheila D. Won't you come with me? I'll show you around the world. Come with the traveler Sheila D. Passport on check, luggage on check. Boarding passes and excursions booked on check. Passport on check, luggage. Come with the traveler Sheila D. Travel with me.
This is us along our 5-hour ride to Cape Coast, Ghana. This is us learning how brass is made in Ghana. This is the brass shop where some of us got to buy actual brass that was made here. This is us arriving at the Slave River site. This was an emotional moment.
Had their last bath before they were sold to buyers to be taken to the dungeons, and eventually they were all shipped out of the land to the New World. A very long time ago, before the arrival of the Europeans here, our ancestors lived on a very big vast continent. The oldest known name of this continent was Akebola. The word Akebola means land of humanity, mother of all creation. Some say it is the garden of Eden. For that reason, when you look around the entire continent, Africa is blessed with so much resources. This continent is blessed, but then we are stranded. We use our own resources. It has always been the advantages that the Europeans have had long before. At a point in time, our ancestors lived on this land, but then they happened to fight each other. Through battles and all that, they had victims of war. These territorial expansions caused them to fight each other for so many decades, centuries. They've been fighting. But then when they had their victims of war, they were not enslaved. What they were doing was to induct them into various cultures. We practiced this particular system called the indentured servitude. And then whenever you raise the topic of transatlantic slavery, people jump into defense mode. stating that when the Europeans came here, there was a form of slavery in Africa. Then I asked myself, what is it? What form of slavery did they mean? Because servants and a slave are not both the same thing. Indentured servitude and slavery are not the same thing. As an indentured servant, you are free, you have your privileges, you have your rights. You give birth and that child is still yours. You name that child. But then if you are a slave, the eggs in your tummy are not even yours. Because the moment you give birth to a child, that child is snatched away from you and taken to another family sold off. The ancestors lived here. Closer to the year 1400, we had Europeans sailing across the oceans. Made their very first contact with this land, the very first thing they did was to change the name from Akebuland to Africa. The word Africa was derived from a Latin word Africa. And that word simply means funny. From the Greek word Africa, spelled A-P-H-R-I-K-E, that word means a land without home. But then the Creoles in Africa, the historians believe the true meaning of the word Africa is the children of the people of the sun. That's because even though this place is so humid and all that, it still look good under the sun and we don't actually suffer it. Many people believe it is because the melanin in us. It allows us to absorb the energy from the sun and we glow with it. That's exactly why we don't suffer the sun. Down here, we have here a particular plant. You might have come across it on your journeys. This is the plant I'm showing you. You see how it's behaving? It's very sensitive to touch. When you touch it, it closes. At the time when the ancestors were being hunted, not all of them were in favor of the trade, so they decided to fight against it. When they were fighting, they don't have the alarm systems and all these devices to tell them somebody is trying to penetrate their system or probably their territories. So all they could use was nature. So they used the plant as a secret motion sensor. When you touch it, it closes, and that indicates somebody has been here. If it's still open, it means it's safe for us to go doing our normal activities. So they were using this plant to track down their captors. The motion sensors saved so many of them. Others decided to use the caves, some used the mountains, others used the rivers. In Ghana, we have all the relics all around us. In the northern part of Ghana, they built defense walls surrounding their entire communities, keeping themselves protected from being captured. They fought the Dutch, they fought the British, they fought so many other group of people. You see, there was a king called King Bedu Bonsu the Senke from Ahanta.
Walking to the river where slaves took their first and last bath on this continent before they were shipped off in the Atlantic slave trade. Amen.
also known as the last Nile. Right here we have two major rivers. We have the river called Nonkonsu. That literally means the Slaves River. It has its source from this same community, flowing from the mountains and getting in contact with the other one. It doesn't flow so fast, it flows so gently, and then meets with the rough one. That rough river is called the Ochi River. Ochi means something that will grab you or wash you away. When they brought their ancestors here, they never allowed any of them to go to that part of the river. These people think when they allow the ancestors there, they will get washed away and they will lose everything they have labored for. So they restricted them from going there and kept them down here at the Slaves River. In the chains and shackles, the ancestors were sent them. But before allowing them to step into the river, they have to add metal balls to the chains around their ankles. The balls were to weigh them still, preventing them from escaping. While saying that they couldn't do nothing. The ancestors couldn't even use their own hands on the poles. So what they were doing, to help each other. If I could get closer to you, I help you. Then you help whoever is closer. You repeat that until everyone got through. But then when they saw them, they thought they were trying to free themselves to escape. So they got them separated. After the separation, they will cut the bamboos. Use the leaves of the bamboos on them. The bamboo leaves are very itchy and sharp. So they got bruised all over their body. After they were bruised, they pulled them up, got them lined up here, allowed them to get dry. After they got dry, they applied shea butter or palm kernel oil on their skins to make them look presentable and attractive for the buyers to come here to pick. The buyers who came here were looking for help in the chains. But before going there, they had in their hand the branded tools, long handled tools left in the fire. As it's turning hot red, they will select whoever they want to select. Pay for them, and then they brought them to the cashiers and then chained them to the trees. The trees were to restrict them from struggling too much. Then they branded their back, their chest, shoulder, forearms, from the waistline up, wherever they decide, they'll brand you there. And after the branding, they took the ancestors about 70 kilometers away from this land at the dungeons, so they took them on a walk to those places. The rest of the people who were left in the chains were considered useless people. Every single one was shot. They killed them all and dumped their bodies all around. The place is full of unmarked graveyard. We call it the bamboo slave dumping site. Others call it the bamboo slave cemetery. I don't like the word cemetery because they were not properly buried. They only dumped them there. They got rotten. Nature was what the help.
This is us having lunch at one of the local restaurants in Cape Coast, Ghana. This is us at the Cape Coast Castle. where some of our ancestors were taken from Africa to the Americas and everywhere else.
My name is Harry. You can also call me Kujo because I was born on Monday. The tour is going to take us about 45 minutes, and then throughout this 45 minutes, we shall be seeing the male danger, the female danger, the condemned cell, the punishment cell, the courtyard of the castle, the door of no return, the door of return, and then from there, we shall also move upstairs to see the Palava Hall, where buying and selling of human beings took place. From there, we finally bring our tour to an end. But before we begin with a tour of the castle, I'll give you a brief history about the castles we have in Ghana and then the transatlantic slave trade on the west coast of West Africa. Now, basically, in Ghana, there are 3 castles. We have St. George's Castle in Elmina, built by the Portuguese in 1482. It is the largest and the oldest European trading post in sub-Saharan Africa. We have the second one also in Accra, that is the Christiansborg Castle, built by the Danes in 1661. That is the second largest castle we have here in Ghana. And then finally, we have Cape Coast Castle, built by the English in 1664. So Cape Coast Castle, where we are at the moment, this is the smallest among the 3. But this very edifice was once built as a fort, known as the Carolusberg Fort, by the Swedish in 1653. The fort changed hands severally between the Swedish, the Danes, the Dutch, until the British captured it in 1664. So it was the English who developed the fort into a castle status as we see today. So Cape Coast Castle, as it exists today, it was built over a period of 300 years. It wasn't built at a go. 1,000 men in here for a period of time. When the whole place was full to its capacity, 1,000 men were held in here. They were not allowed to move outside. They defecated, urinated, vomited. They sat and slept around their own mess. But the whole idea wasn't meant for them to ease themselves on the ground. They used to have wooden buckets or receptacles just at the corners for them to ease themselves. But because they were not emptying this wooden bucket on a regular basis, it sometimes get full. They were left with no option to ease themselves on the ground. They slept on the bare floor. Others were sleeping on top of the others. For where each individual stood, it was a complete apartment for them.
This is us arriving at our 3rd and final hotel in Elmina, Ghana. This is me giving you a quick room tour.